What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I want to address the fourth stimulus check. I want to address the child tax credits, a federal pay raise. I want to talk about the eviction extension possibility and also touch on what Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell had to say today and how many lawmakers are taking what he is saying and moving forward with it. So I want to break this all down. I know there's a lot of moving parts in this video. However, my hope is I will be able to explain it in a easy to understand fashion so that you guys can easily understand it. First off, I just want to thank you guys for watching and always hitting that like button. It really helps out the channel. So let's get into the update for today. Today, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, he was asked if it would be a bad idea if Democrats decided to extend the unemployment benefits past September. Well, initially after being taken back by the question, he stated that he fully expects people to return to work in September. So, essentially, he's not going to urge Democratic governors to cancel the unemployment benefits a little bit early, but the way he answered some of these questions makes many people wonder if he is not in support of the Republican governors canceling unemployment benefits a little bit early. Now, why is this important and how does this factor into the infrastructure package, the stimulus checks, the stimulus package, and everything in between? Well, here's what we know. Jerome Powell also stated that the U.S. government cannot keep spending like they have been. But yet President Biden, he wants to spend more money because he was advised that the United States can handle more of a deficit. Even though that's not what President Biden wants to do, he wants to be able to fully pay for his roughly $4.1 trillion infrastructure package. He understands, as of right now, with interest rates being so low, the United States government can borrow money, and it's pretty much free money. They don't have to worry about it too much. So because of that, some say now's the time to borrow. But we will see. Now, Jerome Powell said he doesn't think the U.S. will ever have trouble paying back their debt. He also said, and currently, this debt's very cheap because of the interest rates, but Jerome Powell also stated that he doesn't think that in the future, the U.S. is going to have any problems paying off these debts either. So, he did say this is something that we need to worry about. This is something that we have to take a close eye on or keep a close eye on. So again, just understand this because as we hit like a new record for our deficit, just understand right now some are saying that even though we get more and more in debt, it doesn't mean that's essentially a bad thing because as long as the debt is going to the right places. Well, this is where some question, well, where are the right places? Because we know stimulus checks hit the American people's bank accounts and the majority of the money went right back into the economy, went into bills, went into, some put into savings, some put into credit card debts. And I think, in my honest opinion, paying off a credit card is not a bad thing. Paying off a credit card is essentially the same thing as paying your rent because many people, and there were many reports and many studies from this, many people use credit cards to buy food because they use their cash to pay for their rent. Okay? So just understand this, and this is a big deal because right now if the American people are falling further and further into debt, if they can take their credit cards, pay them off, okay, and do this with stimulus check funding, fine, so be it, do it. That is at least according to multiple reports and studies, that is a good thing. And I think that's personally a great idea to pay off debt, put a little bit in savings, but yes, contribute to help stimulate the economy and provide and get these jobs and get these economies opened back up. But we'll see. Now, something else that is happening right now, okay, and this is happening as we speak. More Democrats are coming out and demanding that President Biden says that we need to extend the child tax credits till 2025. They are saying that these are imperative because these are providing for the American people, pulling children out of poverty and giving people that lifeline to put food on the table, keep a roof over their head, and pay for the essentials that they need. They also want to see stimulus checks go out to those that are really struggling and provide for a fair recovery. This is key, and this is something that I've been talking about for a little while, is how is it fair that people that are making, $350,000 get a stimulus check, depending on how many, children they have and all this stuff. But at the same time, somebody on Social Security may or may not get a stimulus check because, for one, the IRS just may not know about them. Well, how do you not know about somebody that's on Social Security? That's just beyond me. And then, in addition to that, veterans were the last ones to get a stimulus check. How is that fair? And so this is what I've been talking about for a while, is fairness in this recovery process. We heard about last year is there was a K-shaped recovery, and everyone's saying, no. It's that check mark recovery. It comes down and we're going back up. Perfect. But no, reports indicate we are seeing a K-shaped recovery. The wealthier people, they saw the economy kind of went down and then now it's picking back up. Well, the lower income earners, the economy came down, it came back up just a little bit, and now it's headed back down because many don't have the money, many don't have the funds to go and buy a new house, to buy an asset that's going to appreciate, especially in this time when we are seeing massive amounts of inflation. Many don't have the money to go and buy food and essentials and the things that they need to live on a daily basis. And so this is where some lawmakers, mainly Democrats, are saying we need to provide for a fair recovery. And on top of that, these Democrats, they want to see that moderate Democrats stop wasting time and just pass a budget reconciliation. But again, we will see. But let me explain what's happening right now since we are speaking about wasting time. Here's what we know, and this is huge. This is something that's going to make a lot of people very upset. Today, the Senate's bipartisan group, they actually met with the White House, and they left the meeting without any agreement whatsoever on infrastructure. Reports indicate that there was progress, but nothing as far as an agreement was made, but they will continue to speak, possibly today, if not tomorrow. We also know that the Senate will work until Thursday, and then, okay, get this, the Senate's going to work until Thursday, which is June 24th. Then they will go on recess for a little bit over 2 weeks and come back to Washington on July 12th. July 12th, okay? So they're going to be on recess for like 2.5 weeks just because of the 4th of July. Again, this is the way Congress works. Then, here's what I want you to understand. If a deal does not get done by Thursday, don't think it's not going to get done. Just understand the negotiations are going to be slow. And as far as passing a bill, that won't happen until after July 12th because Congress, if they know, okay, we have a deal done, we can pass this, this isn't something that's imperative that has to get done by July 4th. This is something that right now Congress is trying to get done before the end of July, before August 1st. So because of that, just understand this bill may be drug on. We may see additional delays, and this is more time wasting, but we may see additional delays clear until the middle to end of July. So just understand this is something that Congress does. Now, today, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, she had this to say, and I quote, "While progress was made, more work remains to be done. We expect our team to meet again with the bipartisan group later today or tomorrow as schedules permit." So she simply says, more work remains to be done. That is not a good sign. That is not a good sign when this bill was not supposed to be revealed until it was pretty much finalized. But according to reports, the bipartisan group, they came to an agreement, yet their agreement does not sit well with the Biden administration and President Biden. He wants to see some changes. So we will see, but as I get more information there, I promise I will fill you in on all those details. Now on top of that, something else we are hearing today is that House Democrats are pushing President Biden and his administration to extend the federal CDC eviction moratorium. They say that the American people are still struggling, and just because some of the country is doing well does not mean the entire country is doing the same. They also say that with the unemployment benefits expiring for all the Republican states, many renters will need help paying their bills, and giving them an additional extension will allow them to do just that. So keep this in mind. Right now, the eviction moratorium, the federal CDC eviction moratorium expires in 8 days. 8 days. That's big because that's going to leave many people open to that possibility where they could potentially be evicted. So just keep that in mind. That is not good, but this is also, coming from, somebody that has your rental properties, you need to understand that as of right now, okay, the biggest thing right now is renters aren't paying their rent, but landlords in many cases still have to pay their utilities. They still have to pay all these other expenses, right? Maybe maintenance on the property. They still have to pay for their taxes. Okay, so just keep that in mind. That some are saying this isn't fair to landlords because they still have that burden of holding on to that property. So we'll see what happens, but as of right now, the Democrats are pushing to see this eviction moratorium extended. We also know that today President Biden found this out. This is some new information that President Biden just found out, and so I wanted to touch on this because, for one, you may hear it right now. I have a fan running on the side of my room. My AC, for some reason, I don't know what's going on, but my air conditioning right now is not working very well, so it's very hot. Now, I wanted to bring that up because here's what President Biden just realized today. He realized that federal firefighters only get paid $13 per hour. Well, he stated that he wants to raise the pay for federal firefighters, stating that this will be needed with this upcoming heat wave that we will be having. Now, right now, currently, it's 101, according to my watch, okay? It's 101 degrees outside, not inside. If it was 101 degrees inside, I would be just profusely sweating. But understand this, and this is what President Biden said today. And I just realized, I didn't realize this. I have to admit that federal firefighters get paid $13 an hour. That's going to end in my administration. That's a ridiculously low salary to pay federal firefighters. Not that many federal firefighters, and I know you use all the resources, including state and local firefighters, if that makes any sense. Okay, so yes, he is talking about giving federal firefighters a pay raise. Now, President Biden has been saying this for a little while, that increasing the pay for federal employees is something that he wants to do. And it's not just federal employees. Democrats, not just President Biden, but all Democrats, want to see a pay increase, especially on the minimum wage scale. They want to see this boosted and increased. My guess is it's going to happen at some point, but one of the ways that the Biden administration is going to do this is by going after these little groups: federal firefighters, federal employees, federal contractors, which he's already done, right? So just keep this in mind. If you are a federal employee, chances are you may see an increase at some point. Now, here's the last thing I wanted to bring up. This is something that's extremely important as well, and for a couple reasons. First, here's what happened. Today, Senate Republicans blocked Democrats' voting rights bill. We knew this was going to happen. We knew Democrats didn't have the support of the Republican Party. However, they continued to push this because first, according to reports, they wanted to see who would support this and who would publicly vote no. Well, the final vote ended up it came right down the middle, right along party lines. It was split 50-50. 50 yeses, 50 noes. Meaning that Democrats didn't have the votes needed to get past the filibuster. Again, keep in mind that in order to pass the filibuster and get a bill passed, it has to receive 60 votes. That means in a 50-50 split Senate, 50 Republicans need to get 50 Democrats need to get 10 Republicans on board in order to pass a bill. That didn't happen. This is leading some to already say, and again, this just happened, but this is already leading some to say this is why the filibuster needs to be gone, and until it does, the Senate will never pass meaningful legislation. So we will see what happens here, but what I can tell you is if we don't see something happen to the filibuster, we're going to see Democrats up in arms. We're going to see they're going to push the budget reconciliation. But here's the big thing. What happens when the last budget reconciliation is used up and Democrats want to pass additional bills? What happens? What happens when the infrastructure package takes up the last remaining budget reconciliation for this fiscal year? What happens? Do Democrats push for police reform and hope Republicans will get on board? Chances are it's not going to happen. Will Democrats push for this voting rights bill and just hope Republicans will get on board? You saw what happened today. It was a 50-50 split. It's probably not going to happen. Will Democrats pass an infrastructure package and then hope they come back to the table and pass additional meaningful legislation with Republicans? Chances are it's not going to happen. According to Mitch McConnell, and he said this about a month ago, he's going to spend 100% of his efforts in stopping this administration from passing any legislation. So we are going to see what happens, but what I can tell you at this point is Democrats are fed up with not just Republicans, but their own party as well, because as of right now, moderates in the Senate, specifically Democrats, they are pushing for bipartisanship, but in the end, according to reports, nothing is going to happen. So, like always, as we know more, I promise I will share more. I just wanted to keep you up to date and filled in on exactly what is happening this afternoon and this evening. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Just want to thank you guys for watching and always hitting that thumbs up button. Again, it really does help out the video. Consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on, and I'll see you guys on the next one.